Leeds United have returned to the championship after a Premier League season that ended in relegation and saw 4 different managers in charge. Daniel Farke has been appointed the new boss at Leeds, a manager that has a plethora of experience in the Premier League Championship and Bundesliga. He helped develop talents at Norwich like James Maddison, Ben Godfrey, and Max Aarons. But it's fair to say this Leeds squad is going to see plenty of changes in the year ahead. This squad alone from last season would probably be good enough to get instant promotion from the championship. However, they're going to need to fend off offers from big clubs. Talented Dutch prospect Crescencio Somerville made an instant impact on Leeds, with lots of interest coming in from the Bundesliga and the Eredivisie. Many higher profile players like Roca, Aronson, and Koch had a loan clause in their contract, assuming Leeds would get relegated. Other talents like Rodrigo joined Leeds years ago for close to 30 million, but is leaving on a minuscule transfer fee. This kind of sums up Leeds' transfer business in recent years, and that's something I want to change in this rebuild. As far as board objectives for the year ahead, we need to look to develop our youth academy, win the championship, and also reach the round of 16 of the FA Cup. There have been several rumored signings, and Nat Phillips seems to be one of the leading defenders looking to join Leeds. The Bolton and Liverpool youth academy player has seen limited appearances across all competitions in recent years. However, he is familiar with the championship, having spent the 21-22 season on loan at Bournemouth. If Phillips does leave Liverpool, it'll likely be on a larger transfer fee. 8.5 million is the reported amount, despite his valuation only being set at 2.8 million. But I would consider Leeds to be one of the higher profile clubs now in the championship, and I think that gives them the upper hand when it comes to signing top players from the league like Gustavo Hammer. The Brazilian-born center midfielder really developed in the Netherlands, having featured for Feyenoord's youth academy, but I think he has thrived over at Coventry City, making 40 appearances in each of the last 3 seasons. Last year, he nearly helped Coventry City earn promotion to the Premier League, losing out to Luton Town in the Championship playoff final. The Dutch talent is certainly one for the future, arriving on a 10 million transfer fee. He'll be playing a box-to-box midfield role for us, contributing both goals, assists, and some defense. Leeds boasts a strong youth academy with some higher profile talents coming out of their academy in recent years. Logan Matthews is the next big player to debut at Elland Road. The English center attacking midfielder already has a rating of 73 with potential of 81 to 94. If we can round out his shooting attributes, he could very well be a big part of our attack in future seasons. But we'll round out our youth academy scouting network with 2 additional scouts, both being 5-star so we can have the very best players. I've said it before in other rebuilds, but the championship is another beast compared to the Premier League. Lots more matches, and that means we need to have squad depth across the board. I think expectations are also quite lofty for Leeds to secure automatic promotion. There are also question marks about Patrick Bamford, whether he's going to move on to another club in England. We didn't receive too many realistic offers, so he'll be staying in this first season of the rebuild. If he were to leave, I could see someone like Joel Pirro joining Leeds as a target man with proven championship goal scoring contribution. But we'll pick up a 1-0 victory in our season opener with Bamford scoring the only goal, simulating forward until January 2023, and we find ourselves in a decent position. Not quite automatic promotion, however, we are in the running for the championship playoffs. We've also advanced to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup up against another championship side in Leicester City, and are still running in the FA Cup. As far as the squad's concerned, I haven't made too many changes to our starting 11. One other departure, though, has to do with Wilfried Gnonto. I think he returns back to Serie A. I just didn't get too many realistic offers, though, so he departs to Lyon on just a 15 million transfer fee. I definitely wanted to highlight the Carabao Cup because reaching a final in our first season would be a massive achievement. We do defeat Leicester City 5-3 on aggregate, and that means we're going to play Premier League side Brighton in mid-February. A team that's been on the rise as far as the Premier League's concerned, achieving European qualification for next year, and they've got a strong starting 11 to showcase. Perhaps the magic can happen at Wembley. Could this be the start of a new chapter at Leeds United? I think Farke is a capable manager, and hopefully one that will stay in the long run at Leeds. But we'll get into the highlights here. 38th minute, and Somerville. I talked about how he is an exceptional talent, a great cross to find Sinisterra. Still a lot of rumors about whether he's going to stay at Leeds, with him being such a great player and one that is certainly good enough to be featuring in the Premier League or even any other top 5 league abroad. But we're into the second half. Sinisterra, a key part of our attack. Eventually the ball falling to Bamford. He just wasn't someone to finish these chances, at least for the simulated fixtures. But fortunately, we still managed the 1-0 victory. Ayling, being a Leeds player since 2016, will still wear that captain's armband. And while this season is still far from over, we've secured European football, and hopefully we'll also have Premier League promotion to talk about come the end of the year. The momentum from the Carabao Cup finals seemed to carry forward to the championship season. We've earned the Manager of the Month award for March, and it was a month that saw 6 victories from 6 matches played. Some good opposition mixed in here with 4 of those matches, including clean sheets. We're also going to see Logan Matthews earn his promotion to the senior squad. He's up to a 76 rating, by far the best talent in our youth academy. And with the season coming to an end, we have secured automatic promotion to the Premier League in that 2nd place spot. We hit the Centurion mark, but Leicester City had an even better year, finishing with 108 points and winning the championship. As far as the promotion playoffs, Southampton and Blackburn Rovers will battle it out in the final, with Southampton winning that fixture 1-0. Relegation spots for the year going to Reading, Rotherham United, and Wigan Athletic. Spurs win the Premier League with a new manager in charge, and Postecoglou already making an impact, and Crystal Palace, Fulham, and Luton Town returning to the championship. Championship sides did very well in the domestic competitions, Chelsea defeating Hull City in the FA Cup final. We, of course, defeated Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Real Madrid got the win against Eintracht Frankfurt in the UEFA Super Cup. Milan getting the win against Manchester City in the Champions League final. Arsenal got the better of PSV in the Europa League, and Lazio defeating Villarreal in the Conference League final. He didn't have the best outing in the Carabao Cup final, but Bamford still contributed 31 goals across 53 appearances. It ranked him as the 2nd best goal scorer in the championship, only behind Tielemans, whose transfer to Aston Villa hasn't yet been replicated in this save. Bamford also leading the way in assists, 14 from 53. That made him the best assist maker in the championship. Tielemans right behind him, along with one of our own players, Hammer. A pretty strong outing from our defense, Meslier with the 3rd most clean sheets, and we'll get an update on some of our youth academy players. Matthews growing an additional rating up to a 77 overall. I set up a scouting network in Ireland, and we managed to find Niall Keogh, a 69 rated goalkeeper with 80 to 94 potential. Frank Jacobs is a 67 rated Dutch talent. The center attacking mid has 82 to 94 potential. Rory Kyle is another goalkeeper. He's from Scotland, 62 rated with 86 to 94 potential. Surprised to see our manager rating drop, but Leeds are back in the Premier League and even into European competitions. Hopefully there will be some lessons learned after a season spent in the championship. Tyler Adams taking over as captain for the club as we embark our Premier League journey. But if you're enjoying this Leeds rebuild so far, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. There are some immediate expectations from the board to improve the quality of our squad, finish in a Europa League spot in the Premier League, reach the semi-final of the FA Cup, and win the Conference League. Granted, we've got some budget to work with, just shy of 90 million. The big rumor in this transfer window has to do with Patrick Bamford, one of the top goal scorers in the championship. And honestly, a 77 rating is no longer going to cut it in the Premier League, so he'll be heading to Juventus on a 15 million fee. Junior Firpo also returning to Spain as he signs with Atletico Madrid for 17.5 million. Rasmus Christensen just recently completed a loan spell to Roma. He signed with Aston Villa in this save, leaving for 15 million. Same situation with Diego Llorente. He's going to return to Spain as he signs with Getafe on a 10 million transfer. Finally, Tyler Roberts off to MLS, joining FC Cincinnati for 2 million. It's hard to know where to begin with signings, but we definitely need a new striker and a new left back. Beato was my preferred choice for a striker signing. The Udinese attacker is a proven goal scorer, not only in Serie A, but also in prior seasons playing in Portugal. Some heavy links tying him to Inter in Serie A as well as Premier League clubs. He will offer an aerial threat and also quite a bit of strength, making for an all-rounded striker and someone that can score goals for us. It's a big transfer fee as we debut our new number 9, Beto signing for 30 million, not much more than his transfer valuation of 25 million. Daniel Farke's most recent club was Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I figured we want to sign at least one top talent from that team. Luca Netz being one of their highest potential players, the German left back, part of Hertha Berlin's youth academy, has featured consistently for Mönchengladbach the last 2 years despite his young age. He's going to join us on just a 10 million deal. I think this is some fantastic business for a player whose valuation is not only 10 million, but he's also showing great potential. I do think we need to make some upgrades at the center back position, and one of the leagues that Leeds seem to sign players from is the Eredivisie, specifically Feyenoord. Geertruida has spent nearly a decade with Feyenoord. He witnessed their 2016-17 title-winning campaign and was a big part of their Eredivisie winning season just last year. Despite his links with RB Leipzig, that transfer has not yet been finalized, so I thought we would reunite him with Sinisterra as he offers us both right back and center back versatility. It's another big transfer fee, even more than the Beto signing, 35 million, as Geertruida joins Leeds at a valuation of 31.5 million. We will ultimately put him through that center back position change, only taking 2 weeks. Now that we're into European competitions, we want to sign a good backup goalkeeper, and Carl Darlow may eventually join Leeds, especially if Meslier decides to leave. The Newcastle United goalkeeper no longer features consistently for them as they brought in more and more players and have now qualified for Champions League football. But at a 1.5 million transfer fee, we've got a solid backup goalkeeper option and someone that offers us experience from the Premier League. We are ready to embark on our Premier League campaign, starting with a fixture against Brentford. Let me know in the comments section how long you think it will require Leeds to return back to the Premier League. Here is our new look starting 11. All of a sudden, we've got a team that I think is capable of competing in European football, especially considering that is one of our board objectives for the season. But it's a 1-1 draw in our league opener as we shift attention towards our Conference League group. We have Boavista, Pogoń Szczecin, and St. Johnston. There's some drama regarding Reggie Cannon's future at Boavista. It looks like he'll be leaving the club on a free. Pogoń Szczecin have a decent potential center midfielder in Legowski, and the goalkeeper Jack Wills, the highest potential player at St. Johnston. It's a big January transfer window to come. As far as our Premier League standings, we're in the running for European football, 8th place, and also topping our Conference League group. We go undefeated, and that means we have to be one of the favorites to win the competition. Our squad is in a position where we don't need to make any additional signings, so we'll kick off the round of 16 action in the Conference League against Dynamo Zagreb, a club that has a fair amount of high potential players of their own, Baturina being the highest potential talent currently at the club. It was a 1-1 draw in the away fixture, however, the home match goes to penalties and we win that 4-3. Advancing to the quarterfinals against Hoffenheim. This is the former club of Jorginho Rutter, and they've got some great players like Christoph Baumgartner at an 83 rating. Another 1-1 draw in the opening fixture, however, it's a great away leg. Rutter scoring one of the goals to give us a 3-0 victory. Semi-finals up against Club Brugge. Each season, it seems like one of their players is leaving on a big transfer fee. Noah Long is the latest of the bunch as he departs to PSV. But it's a 2-1 win in our home fixture. A 2-2 draw in the away leg puts us through to the final of the Conference League against Atletico Madrid. Of course, we saw the season start with Firpo leaving on a fairly big transfer fee. He's at a 79 rating and he could well feature for them at some point. With this being the final match of the season, we'll review results across all competitions. Not quite able to break into European football for Premier League standings, with City winning the league 8 points clear of Spurs. We were just behind Burnley in the 9th place spot, and for the relegation zone, it's Leicester City, Brighton, and Bournemouth to see relegation to the Championship. Crystal Palace and Fulham will be the 2 clubs to earn automatic promotion back to the Premier League. Watford were Championship playoff winners. We saw a 4th round exit in the FA Cup, with Chelsea again winning this competition up against Manchester United in the final. A 2nd round departure in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea picking up the double as they get the win against Spurs. Milan started the season with a victory in the UEFA Super Cup, and it was a rematch of last season's Champions League final, but this time City were the winners. And kind of an odd season for Chelsea, but they get the treble with a Europa League victory against Napoli. We're all set to go against Atleti, as we're once again the underdogs in this cup final. Leeds fans have had to endure a lot of hardship at the club. As mentioned earlier, they spent several years in the Championship, and it was great to see them back in the Premier League. Hopefully, they get their return sooner rather than later. But it's Joao Felix who starts things off for Atleti. Good save on Meslier's near post. And now we'll get into a highlight of our own. Sinisterra, once again, playing a big part in our attack. As we get forward to the second half, it's a good effort blocked by Oblak. We're trying our best to keep a clean sheet as once again, Joao Felix sends it across. Good save of Meslier and a double save to keep things scoreless. Finally, as we break into the final minutes of this one, it's going to be Beto who plays across, and Rutter gets the winning goal for us in the 83rd minute. A high-profile signing for Leeds, and hopefully someone who will find his place into the starting 11. Right after kickoff, we managed to keep the press going, almost Bielsa-esque, where we're trying to win back possession right away. And this time, Beto, another one of our high-profile transfers in this rebuild, will give us a second goal, sealing things for this Conference League final, and will once again take the step up, this time to the Europa League. I hope to one day see Tyler Adams as a captain on the club level. He's done a great job for the US men's national team, and he seems to lead by example, plays for the badge, and he's the kind of player that hopefully Leeds can keep in the long run. Daniel Farke continuing to exceed expectations here at Leeds. Beto was a big part of our winning mindset, 29 goals from 54 appearances. It ranked him as the 5th best goal scorer in the Premier League. A breakout season for Ruter, +2 in his overall 8 assists from 54 appearances. Not quite breaking into the top 15, but Meslier is solid from the back. There were 4 goalkeepers that had double-digit clean sheets. We'll get a loan update on Keogh. He's up +5 to a 74 rating. Logan Matthews up +4 to an 81 overall during a Bundesliga loan spell. We've got 3 new additions starting in England. Ezra Short, a 65 rated center attacking mid, 89 to 94 potential. Kai Thomas, a 64 rated center back from Wales, 88 to 94 potential. And Daniel Quinn, a 63 rated center back from Northern Ireland, 82 to 92 potential. We keep on adding a new cup competition to our trophy cabinet, but our manager rating not changing all that much. We continue to climb the ranks here at Leeds United. Let's see how long we can keep this up. Expectations for the year looks to see us finish with a profit margin of 25 million, finish in a Champions League spot for the Premier League, win the FA Cup, and reach the semi-final of the Europa League, all the while having less of a budget than we had last year. However, I don't think we need to improve this team all that much, just a few minor upgrades. We'll start the summer signings with Serginho Dest, one of the right backs that I feel like had the highest potential just a few years ago. Lately, he's been lacking playtime, receiving loan spells to Milan and now having Bundesliga links with Union Berlin and Stuttgart. He's been a fantastic player for the US men's national team when he's featured, especially when he's given permission to move further up the pitch. There was a point in time when Jesse Marsch was Leeds' boss that you saw a lot of American transfers to the club. Dest will join on a 20 million transfer fee. It is actually less than a valuation of 23 million, so his contract was coming to an end. We matched up against Club Brugge in last season's Conference League semi-final, and we're again going to see a big departure from the club with Antonio Nusa. The right midfielder can also feature as a left winger and center forward. Throughout the year, he's had some of the most potential as far as career mode wonder kids go, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's the next player to leave on a big fee from this club. Nusa is going to provide squad depth for us as he joins on a 15 million transfer. He's showing great potential at a valuation of 10.5 million. Realistically though, I think he's going to favor that left side more, allowing him to cut in on his preferred right foot. We did receive some offers for our captain Tyler Adams from Manchester City, who I feel like Pep Guardiola has applauded at times, but we are going to see one confirmed departure with Pascal Struijk leaving to Inter on a 15 million fee. Jack Harrison off to Spurs as he joins them for 20 million. But it's Chelsea to kick off our season, the treble-winning club from last year, and this is the new look starting 11. We got Dest featuring at right back, and unfortunately, we aren't able to begin our season with a victory, but we've still got the Europa League to think about. Freiburg, Brøndby, and Apoel in our group. Kevin Schade spent half a season out on loan at Brentford in the Premier League, and he features at a 76 overall for Freiburg. Hermansen signed him in a rebuild not too long ago, high potential player over at Brøndby. And we've got a striker from Georgia with Flickiify at a 73 overall for Apoel. We're going to continue with these Manager of the Month awards. A strong start to the year as we get September Manager of the Month, as well as 2 nominees for Player of the Month. September only saw victories for us, and as we fast forward just a few more months to January, we are going to find ourselves in a Champions League qualification spot and just 4 points shy of Liverpool for top of the table. In the Europa League, we also finished top of our group, with Freiburg advancing alongside us to the knockout stages. We have seen one change to our starting 11, our homegrown talent finally into the mix, Matthews featuring at the center attacking mid position and an 85 rating, but it's Ajax who will face in the round of 16, the former team of Serginho Dest. They've signed Oscar in this save at a 79 overall, a club that's in need of a rebuild as they lose the first leg 3-0, and we defeat them in the second leg as well, advancing 7-1 on aggregate, matching up against Liverpool in the quarterfinals. It's a Jurgen Klopp-inspired transfer with Emre Can joining them at an 83 rating. and a 0-0 draw in the opening fixture, but we get a 2-1 win in the second leg to advance to the semifinals against Napoli. Another Georgian talent to feature here with Kvara. He's up to an 86 rating at this point in the save. And just before we start this fixture, we get another Manager of the Month award for April. It was a month that we again go undefeated, a couple of draws into the mix, and as things stand, we're top of the Premier League with just 4 fixtures remaining. Back to the Europa League action, a 2-0 win in the opening fixture and a 3-1 win in the second leg, putting us through to a final where we'll face our rivals, Manchester United. Just days prior to this match, we'll play against Brentford in the Premier League. A win will secure us the league title. We'll keep watch on Chelsea's fixture as they have a London derby against Spurs. But ultimately, our future is on our own hands. A 4-1 victory against Brentford means that we will be lifting a Premier League trophy just 3 seasons into this rebuild and only 2 years after spending time in the championship. It's been a fairy tale season for Leeds, 2 points clear of Chelsea for the top spot in the league. As far as relegation goes, it's Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, and Nottingham Forest to drop down to the championship. As for that league, Brighton and Leicester returning to the Premier League, with Bournemouth winning the championship playoffs. We saw a 3rd round exit in the FA Cup with Everton winning this competition against Manchester City. A 2nd round exit once again in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea go on to win this competition against Liverpool. Manchester City defeating Chelsea in the UEFA Super Cup final. Barcelona were Champions League winners in an El Clasico final. Roma defeating Newcastle in the Conference League. But our focus will be on Manchester United, a team that we've seen several matches against as far as Leeds in their history goes. Both sides having to travel away for this one. That didn't stop fans from coming out in abundance, and this is a big moment for a lot of these Leeds players. We're gradually starting to get experience in these cup competitions, so I do like our chances, even if we are going to be once again the underdogs in this one. But just before the halftime break, we get a breakthrough with Matthews, our youth academy talent. He's got that 5-star weak foot, and that was showcased in that left-footed effort of his, giving us the opener. And with just minutes to replay, it's going to be a fantastic save from Meslier to deny an effort. And Manchester United, despite some big name transfers, will fall in this one. We get a win against our rivals, and Tyler Adams in back-to-back seasons will be lifting up some European silverware. We'll see what the next challenge is for Leeds. We've checked off the Premier League, now it's just the Champions League. I would say this has been our best season to date, Premier League winners as well as Europa League winners. Beto, very consistent with his goal contribution, 30 from 53. Oreg is the 4th best goal scorer, tied with 2 other players with 22 goals. For the assist category, Sinistero breaking through with 14 from 53. Somerville actually ranking ahead of him as far as Premier League goals, but Sinistero not far behind in 6th. Meslier right up there with clean sheets, managing to reach the double digits. Lots more loan updates to get through. Short up +4 to a 69 rating. Quinn up +4 to a 67 overall. Really excited about Frank Jacobs, a +5 in his growth, up to 74. Rory Kyle up +7 to a 72 overall. Kai Thomas +3 to a 67 rating, and another goalkeeper with Keogh up +3 to a 77 overall. It goes without saying that Matthews is our best Youth Academy talent currently though, +7 in his rating to an 88 rating. 3 new Youth Academy players coming through. Hills is a 67 rated goalkeeper from Australia, 85 to 94 potential. Kevin Adams, a talent from the US, 65 rated center back with 76 to 90 potential, and Henry Bell, another English player, 64 rated center back with 80 to 94 potential. Finally, our manager rating back in the green. We've checked off all of our board objectives, and it's Champions League football next year. From the beginning, this Leeds squad had potential, but now we're right up there with some of Europe's best clubs for board objectives, trying to maintain a few of these random ones, but also repeating in the Premier League, winning the FA Cup, and reaching the final of the Champions League. A massive rise to our transfer budget, north of 170 million. And this season is all about storyline transfers. I bet you can guess our first one. It is none other than the player born in Leeds and a big part of their promotion from the Championship a few years ago, Calvin Phillips. Part of their youth academy since 2014, he was a part of their Premier League promotion and also their survival in the 21-22 season. On a club level, Manchester City had an incredible last season, but it was a difficult debut year for Phillips. Keep in mind though that other talents like Jack Grealish also struggled in his first season with City. Regardless, he will break into our first team at a 25 million transfer fee. It's slightly less than his current valuation of 26.5 million. Next up is a confirmed transfer for Leeds for the upcoming year. Ethan Empadu just moved on a 7 million transfer fee, and with Azpilicueta and Empadu both leaving, they were the longest serving club players at Chelsea. His transfer in 2017 only led to 12 appearances for the London-based club. And at just 22 years old, Leeds is his 7th club that he's played for at the senior level. He'll play a squad rotational role in this save, signing for a 15 million transfer fee, right at his valuation, and he should be a versatile player for us. It's another former Leeds talent that's available as a free agent, Elia Caprile. Figured we could go with another backup goalkeeper, and Caprile's actually had a good rise, featuring for Bari in Serie C, earning promotion, and just recently losing the Serie B final to Cagliari. We are going to see one departure with Jogo Montero leaving MLS on a 2.5 million transfer fee. All sorts of competitions to start the year though. We'll begin in the FA Community Shield up against Everton. Unfortunately, losing this one on penalties. Barcelona is up next. This is the UEFA Super Cup, and it's an 89th minute winner for Ferran Torres. So back-to-back defeats. Now we'll turn attention to Leicester City in the Premier League. This is what the starting 11 looks like. Really, the only change this summer is Phillips shifting in at the right center defensive mid spot. And we do begin the season with a win in the league. For our Champions League group, we've got Bayern, Marseille, and BSC Young Boys. Bayern, typically one of the top teams in career mode, have signed Mason Mount at an 84 overall, Daniel Farke moving to France at an 83 rating, and Fabian Rieder getting into the 80s at BSC Young Boys, a center attacking mid at an 81 overall. There's a lot to play for in our final Champions League fixture. Taking a look at the table, this match against Marseille will decide if we can advance to the knockout rounds. Unfortunately, we pick up a 5-0 win away from home. So reviewing results in January 2026, we have dropped to 8th place in the Premier League standings, but importantly, we're through to the knockouts of the Champions League, which was the priority. Minus a couple of stamina issues, our starting 11 is looking strong, so we'll begin in the round of 16 against PSG. Kylian Mbappe, the news continues. Whether he's going to stay at PSG, maybe move to Saudi Arabia for a year and feature for them at Al Hilal, or make a transfer to Real Madrid. Regardless though, we win the first fixture 3-1 with Mbappe scoring in the 81st minute. And as we get into March 2026, we've actually got a cup final. This is the Carabao Cup, the competition we won in our first season, but unfortunately, we lose this time to Manchester United. So now it's just the Champions League that I really want to focus on. It was close in the second leg, but we get the better of PSG on penalties, advancing to the quarterfinals against Inter. The return of Pascal Struijk, who's now at a 78 rating, and it was 2 late goals from Inter that gave them the advantage heading into the second leg. They'll keep that advantage and knock us out of the Champions League. It was fairly predictable as we start simulating towards the end of the season, but as we are not in the best of form and haven't achieved our board objectives, we are going to receive this message from the board that our contract has been terminated. Some great accomplishments for Farke at Leeds United, and he'll need to move on to his next journey. It's with Watford as they try to avoid relegation. This is a starting 11 that probably isn't good enough for the Premier League, and taking a look at the final league standings, Leeds could very well be missing out on European football. Watford finishing bottom of the table, and it's super unfortunate that the team we lost to in the Champions League was the ultimate winner with Inter.